Good evening, friends. So, shall we take off from where we left yesterday? We were talking about Goddess Saraswati. The name Saraswati itself, the word Saraswati means Sara of Swa. Sara means essence, the total essence of Swa means self. So Sara of Swa is Saraswati. And normally the feminine names end with T. So that's how the word Saraswati has been made. In fact, when in some context when my password had got logged in means got locked in you can say in Google, we could not get it out because one loop was going into another, and that loop was picking up from somebody else's some other website had linked to this Google account, and so it was going on for 3 weeks, 24 hours a day. I barely slept during that time. And finally, actually the problem happened because when earlier Google account used to get linked even to the model of the mobile that we had. So if we had logged in from that mobile and it was attached to that mobile, then finish, that was it, and I had lost my mobile. And I'm sure there was a big team at both at Google and Facebook and Microsoft, and so many people working on the job to get that extracted. This was way back in 20 22, I think, somewhere 21 or 22, when a new software was being tested, experimented in India. As someone else on another channel was saying, developing countries are good scapegoats for being experimented for all the new products, new software, new machinery which is being introduced by the Western countries. So now then Africa became the another scapegoat, and India was always a scapegoat because we had the largest variety of population. Anyway, so so Saraswati, Sara of Swa. So that was when I mentioned, when I had used the password, the machine was telling, system was telling, change the password. So I gave a new password as Sara of Swa. And then there was a big objection from the team. You cannot, I don't know what they interpreted from that Sara of Swa. And maybe they felt, I don't know what was the meaning that they interpreted. So in that connection, in today's talk from ascending frequency, when they were saying about the use of words, the expression of words, when we express words, it gets manifested because we energize the words, that we add our prana vayu to that words, so it actualizes. Whereas if it's those words are in our thoughts, it is still in a thought stage. Thoughts are illusions. Thoughts are in an unmanifest state. It's like incorporeal. Do you know incorporeal? When we die, a person who has passed on, it is said to be incorporeal. So like a ghost, you can say. So it's like in that condition. So it has no physical vehicle for manifestation. But when those thoughts get expressed through words, it gets out. It gets a vehicle for manifestation. So that's why we must be very careful in interpretation, in speaking our words, because it might as well come true. But in this context here, let me bring into one incident I would like to share. That was when I was in Chinmaya Mission. One of the days when Gurudev used to travel all over the world, and he used to come he used to come once in a way, like that, once in few months. So once he had come, and then I went to do. He was in his office. We just to wish him and then touch his feet and take his blessings. So when I did that, he just just stroked his beard and he said, "I am too old." I didn't get it. So I'm too old now. He said, and I didn't get it. I just did, and I did the pranam. Then I went back. Then years later, maybe in maybe good, it was a good time even after retirement. When I was writing the Mudgal Puran, when I was doing the translation of Mudgal Puran, at that time, um, again the subject came about matching of horoscopes. So generally we match the horoscopes of a girl and a boy for marriage, right? At that time, when I was writing the Mudgal Puran, a particular reference came to the remarks made by, or the conversation between sage Vasishtha and Rama. So I had a book, Yoga Vasishtha, that is the entire teachings or the conversation dialogues between Rama and Vasishtha, when Vasishtha was the teacher in whose ashram Rama and Lakshmana went and learned. So Rama was particularly given more attention, and so there are the exclusive conversations are there in Yoga Vasishtha. When I went to pick up that book, when I just held it in my hand, actually in that book, by default, I mean, I don't know when I had placed, this is the horoscope of Sri Rama. It is in copper plate, etched out, and this I had placed it in that book. And when I was reading that book, it was mentioned that horoscopes are to be matched between a guru and a shishya. So that was in that conversation. Vasishtha had been before Rama was sent to sage Vasishtha. Rama's horoscope was matched with sage Vasishtha for teaching. So now when I reflected on, I was shocked to actually find, I didn't remember when I had put this horoscope in that book, but I was shocked to find that. And when I reflected on what Gurudev had told once some many years ago, like he was referring to the marriage for us, because at that time I was just divorced after 4 months of marriage, and had no intention of marrying again or anything, and I wanted to totally involve myself in study of scriptures, and like I had committed to myself. But perhaps at that time he was trying to dig like what is my intention. So perhaps as a teaser, to tease or something, he must have mentioned that okay, I'm too old for you to get married, that you have come to my ashram to stay or something, whatever it might have been. That was what on reflection, a superficial reflection would have given the answer. But then when in the sage Vasishtha, it is clearly mentioned that we match the horoscope between the guru and the shishya, that student, so as to know so as to match the receptivity of the student, and how much sublimation levels the teacher can take the student. So why that thing came up actually yesterday, when I was talking about the guru shishya relationship, or the presence of a teacher makes a difference to the student in his learning process. So when I was listening to today's talk about expression of how the words actually comes to manifest, but when we and he was very clear in the sense that when we It is only when you are ready for manifestation that it will manifest. Otherwise, words may be mere words. We may be repeating the words over several years, but it may never manifest. You may be doing the affirmations for years and years, but then it never manifests until that awareness is brought, awareness of the presence and the energy. When that is aligned, then it manifests. So here in this at that moment, I remembered this book, The Presence Process, which I had read. It was published by Jacob Books in 2011 in India, and it was available at that time. It literally fell in my lap because just before it actually fell on because I had read The Presence of what is that? Then now Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. This was when I was in college, and Eckhart Tolle was one person. He was a German. I mean, he is a German, and he was one of those few authors who had come to India and had been interviewed on TV. Those days we had just Doordarshan, and he was speaking on TV about his book, about that Power of Now. It had become a very hit book at that time, and I had read it many times. And then of course I followed all his other books, Stillness Speaks and the One Earth and other. And for some time I used to even listen to him, because my sister had sent CDs on the Power of Now. So I used to listen to him. In those days we had the CD player and all that. So anyway, so what I meant to say was he also wrote the art of presence, Eckhart Tolle. And implementing that book, a student, a really sincere student, when he implements the book, this book gives out a actual time frames of implementing the concepts of that process. So the whole process, it's a really transformational process. And actually I didn't read much about the author as such, the person who has written. And it just now when I was reading, he had some neurological issues, and he was able to follow the process and come out of that condition. So even I was wrongly diagnosed with schizophrenia. For 16 years, I was medicated for schizophrenia. Tunicam Plus, Tancodep 2, Depsodiaz, and all this 15 different tablets, or 12 to 15 different colorful tablets every day. And had been made a zombie. It's literally you go numb, you lose all feelings. The neurotransmitters are cut off. The neurotransmitters that take the messages from the brain to the body are literally cut off. So you don't have any sensation means you don't feel your emotions. You'll be living through the process. Just as I was telling, the pharmaceutical industry are very good at maintenance. So this was a very good maintenance. And I was told that if you stop the medicine, you'll die. So I continued for 16 years. At one point of time, I was not able to attend one puja, and I had taken the coupons, and they said, you have to take medicines. Will you remember to take the medicines? And they were frightening me so much at home that I actually handed over the coupons to my servant girl. I told, you go and attend and come, Ganpati Phule. And after that, Shri Mataji never came to India. So, but at that time, what I decided was, today, if I am not able to attend the puja, what is the use of even taking all these medicines? If it is preventing me from even attending a puja, by which I am trying to come out of my own. And this was, mind you, 5 years after I had entered into Sahaja Yoga. After 2004, I think. Yeah, 3 years after entering, 3 years after starting meditation of Sahaja Yoga meditation. In fact, in 1 year I got my promotion and I was doing well, but I had not the confidence to stop the medicines. So this was the occasion which made me stop the medicine. I said, if I have to die, I'll die, but I won't take the medicines. And for 15 days, I did not take the medicine. I did not tell anybody, nothing, nothing. At the end of the month, my daddy comes and tells me, Uma, I think your medicines might be over. Shall I go to the pharmacy in Thane? Means we were staying at Kalamboli. So we was you had to go to the shop because it was specially ordered from the US. In those days, it was not available in India. So, so I said, I have the stock as it is. So, what I want to say was, there was no change observed whether I took the medicine or not. Means neither was it was having any impact, adverse or good or bad, nothing. So it had become a vegetable, it had become food. Medicine had become food. In fact, I put it on the fridge. Food should be taken as medicine and not the other way around. So it is through meditate. Actually, we must be fortunate to get teachers like this person, Michael Brown, who had got the teacher like Eckhart Tolle, and under whose guidance, and of course they have a good team. I think he stays in Canada now, but. Uh, to be able to be monitored, supervised, and you could run to someone with your doubts whenever you had any, and it always comes up. So many confusions come up. So we need a hand holding at that time. So so this is what I wanted to share. So it's very important in understanding of the process. The process is very important, and we must know where we are in that process. We should not continue that process indefinitely. We should know when we are able to take the next turn. We always come at crossroads, and the road we take makes all the difference. So, when we come at that crossroads, we must be able to know which road you prefer to take, which is more challenging, and which instinctively and intuitively you know that this is what um, will take me forward. It may have difficulty. There may be difficulties in the sense that you may not have the people with you, you may not have the funds with you, you may not have, but whether you're prepared, whether it's calling you, that call, that pull, that which is there, that if you honor it, you will be in the right path. So it's not the question of just the words only manifesting, whether you will be able to walk that path. And in that path, and as he is very rightly said, it might not come immediately, it might come down the line, and by that time you may be in a different trajectory altogether. So these are all this is a process. So this process will keep changing, or we will need to adjust to the process and be able to still maintain our values in the process. That's what is important. And what is a value? This what is a value I learned very young, very early in life from Swami Dayananda Saraswati, who was also a student of Swami Chidmananda. He said, a value is a value only if the value of the value is totally valuable to you. He said a little bit more, but then this is the crux of it. A value is a value only if the value of the value is totally valuable to you. So, how valuable that value is to you. It's not the cost, it's not the price, it's not the, it's how much of yourself you're willing to willing to give to that, to retain that value. So in life, if we are very clear about our values and we want to hold steadfast to those values, then guidance will always come. It will be in the form of books, it will be in the form of teachers, It will be in the form of situations where you will be tested to the core. And if you keep your values burning bright, then divine help will always come. Thank you. See you later.